Hey, what's up, podcast family? I know, I'm so sorry. I was totally offline last week and couldn't bring to you a brand new episode of your Telling Bible Stories podcast. But hey, I must say a big thank you to everybody who checked in, saying, hey, what's up with this week's podcast episode? I mean, it made me feel really good, like you guys are really, truly following the podcast series. And you know what? I thought about it, like it will be a good idea if I could share with you my email address so you can actually buzz me up anytime and send me an email, send me feedback about the podcast anytime you feel the need to. So my email address is thegreattola@gmail.com. thegreattola@gmail.com. Hey, you are great too. thegreattola@gmail.com. All right, so thank you so much. Without further ado, let's get straight to today's podcast. Today's podcast is a story that teaches about leadership. It's such an amazing lesson to learn. I can't wait to share with you. This one is entitled The Jethro Leadership Principle. It's a story about a priceless counsel from Jethro to Moses.
Welcome to the Telling Bible Stories podcast. Experience the Bible come alive as we unravel its beauty using today's language.
And now, your storyteller, TOLA Omoniyi.
Hello, Pops. Hey, Mom. How you doing? I'm fine, sir. Oh, I can tell already. I hear and see all the great things you're doing with the people of Israel. Thank you, sir. How's my wife and my sons? They're fine, son. In fact, we'll be flying in tomorrow to see you at your residence. The kids have really missed you. Oh, that would be great, Pops. See you then. Cheers. That was a conversation between Moses and Jethro. Wait, let me give you a quick background story about these two men. Now, once upon a time, Moses got into big trouble in Egypt and went on exile. While in Midian, he did Jethro's daughter Zipporah a huge favor. When her dad heard about it, he invited Moses over for dinner. They got along, and then he offered his daughter to him as wife. That's how they became in-laws. As a matter of fact, Zip now has 2 sons for Moses. Let's get back to today's story as Pa Jethro is flying into town today to see Moses. Moses welcomes his dad-in-law with smiles and hugs and apologies. Hey, Dad, so sorry I came in late to get you. But your office is closed by though, Jethro queried. That's true, but I've been neck deep into work. There's just so much that needs to be done on a daily basis. He hugged and kissed his wife and sons as they set out for his residence. On getting home, Moses sits down with Jethro and starts to explain about all that God had done to Pharaoh and to Egypt for Israel's sake. He narrated all the hard times they had come up against along the way and how God had delivered them. Jethro was so excited to hear about all the updates and couldn't help but just give praise and worship to God for their sake. Moses then sends an invitation to his elder brother Aaron, invited some other elders of Israel over to come have dinner that night with his father-in-law Jethro. It was a great dinner, a time of fellowship and sharing and worship and a bit of prayers as well. The next morning, Moses got back to business as usual, settling disputes, attending to inquiries, and going about the general administration of the land, teaching them God's laws as well. Everyone was coming to him to help with one thing or the other. There was just one thing, Moses was like the main guy, so everybody was just coming to him for help in one way or the other. Now, this happened throughout the day. While all of this was going on, Jethro was carefully watching and observing. Later that night, when they settled in at home, Jethro sat Moses down, looked him straight in the eye and said, "Hey boy, can I tell you the truth? Your leadership style is faulty. this won't take you any far. With what I saw you do today, you will wear yourself out in no time. And not only you, but also the people of Israel. I think the burden on your shoulder is way too much. Now here's my advice, my recommendation for you, and I only pray that God will teach and guide you on how to go about this. Now, you be a representative for the people to God. You talk to God, communicate to God on their behalf, okay? Then choose from the people capable men, God-fearing guys, men of truth, men of integrity. Break down the people in groups of 10s, groups of 50s, groups of 100s, and 1000s. Then assign these guys to head units based on their capacity. These guys will judge the people under normal circumstances. They will handle all the normal things. All the stuff I saw you do today, they'll handle all that stuff. When there are cases beyond what they are capable of handling, then they'll bring those to you, which you'll personally attend to. This way, if you do this, and God so commands you, then you will be able to endure, and all these people will be able to go home satisfied. So it's a win-win both for you and for the people of Israel. Moses' eyes were enlarged while listening to his father-in-law. Moses' eyes were enlarged as he listened to these words of wisdom from his father-in-law. But here's my favorite part of the story. It's in verse 24 of Exodus chapter 18. It says, Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he had said. So here's what Moses did. He splits the people in 10s and 50s and 100s and 1000s. Then he chose capable men who he found to be God-fearing and men of integrity, and placed them over these guys to lead, thereby developing a leadership structure. He started to run that structure, and everything became smooth. Bingo! How amazing! The Jethro leadership principle worked like magic. Just think about the next time Jethro was coming into town to see Moses, and Moses was right there on time to pick him up at the airport, and it was so relaxed, no stress, everything just cool and easy. The Jethro leadership principle. And that's a wrap on our story today, one that talks about leadership, talks about delegation, and talks about the power of wise counsel. Quite a lot of lessons to take home from this one. I forgot to mention the fact that Jethro was described as a priest of Midian. So he was not exactly an Israelite or somebody who you'll say is like a priest of God that Moses had to listen to. So sometimes God can actually give you advice from different sources. Moses didn't look at his father-in-law and go like, hey, what do you know about Israelite matters? I run things over here. But he really did listen and learned from that. And also the power of delegation. You need to understand that you cannot do everything on your own. And that's why you're probably breaking down emotionally, physically, or even financially. When you lead something by attempting to do it all on your own, what you would have successfully done is cap the growth of that thing, or that organization, or that body to your own capacity. There will come a point when you can no longer keep up with all the demands that come your way. And hey, what happens then? Take some of the load off your back and share with people. And delegation is not just about giving people things to do. You have to delegate work to people based on their capacity. That's why Jethro advised his son-in-law Moses to first of all break people down into units, 10s and 50s and 100s and 1000s. You will be doing wrong delegation by giving a 10,000 unit task to a 10-unit capacity leader. I really do hope you enjoyed this and learned a lot from it at the same time. You can check the story out for yourself. It's right there in your Bible, Exodus chapter 18. Till I catch you on the next Bible story, God bless you.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed every bit of today's Telling Bible Stories with TOLA. Do remember to subscribe and share with your friends.